podcast. It's your girl Shelly Nicole with the Remedy Podcast. Hope everybody had a great weekend. My birthday was Friday, 34. Ugh. It was okay. It was a cool, not how I really wanted it to be. Let me stop lying. How I planned my going into my 34th birthday. It didn't happen the way I wanted it to, but it is what it is. I'm glad I did cancel. I was gonna do like a little pool get together, hang out, kick back type thing, but I'm glad I canceled it because the possibility of rain, all that money shelling out, it's just like, yeah, you can't chance it. So I'm glad I did cancel that. But yeah, I went to the spa, did some like reflecting, and that's what actually made me choose this episode, or choose this topic for this episode. Feeling behind, and well, are you on time or off, or are you off track? Feeling behind in your 30s, and mainly thinking that way because as I get older, and as my thoughts of what I thought my 30s would look like, it's not it. This is not it. This is gonna be like a vulnerable, I guess, a vulnerable type of episode where you think you have it all planned out. You tell yourself like, okay, this is how it's gonna look, and you feel like you're doing the right thing. You do all the right things, right? Like, to the textbook, I did everything right. And I feel like a lot of people, especially a lot of women in our 30s, we feel like we did everything to the book. So why didn't it work out the way that we thought it would work out? We did everything according to what our parents told us to do, right? Like, you go to high school, graduate. From high school, you go to college. You graduate. You land a job. Your life starts. Adulting starts. You move out. Then, eventually as your career goes on, you make new friends. You keep some of your old friends, some of your old friends. You guys go your separate ways. And then you find, or Mr. Man finds you, and then boom. Marriage, kids, happily ever after at the end. And of course there's bumps in the road. Not every day is supposed to be rainbows and sunshine, and you're not always going to have good moments. But not once did you think it would take this long. I told myself at 25, and even though now I'm thankful that I didn't get married or didn't have kids at 25, because that was my timeline. Right after college, by 25 I should be married. I should have now what am I, 34? My child, if I had a child at 25, my child would be 9. Right? My child would be 9? Yeah, 34. So, and that'll probably be my first one, and then I'd probably be done by now. My third one would probably be like, I don't know, 3 or 4. And it would be me and my husband, and we would just, be living life. That is not how life dealt the cards to me. even career-wise, just outside of relationship, career-wise. You know, some people say, oh, you know, you choose what you want to do when, you know, in college. You make that choice, you choose that path, and in a sense you do. In a sense, you do pick what it is you want to do for the rest of your life. You want to become a doctor, you want to be a nurse, you want to be an architect, you want to be a dentist, lawyer, whatever it is. You kind of have this already preconceived notion that, okay, this is what you're going to have to do. This is how much time you're going to be in school. This is how long it's going to take. Especially if you're trying to be a doctor, you know, having to go through all these different levels. I don't even know all the different levels. I know there's like residency, and then there's this. I don't know. I'm not even going to put my mouth because I don't even know. But I just know it takes longer than, boom, 4 years, you get a degree, boom, now you're a doctor. Or you take a test, boom, now you're a doctor. No, it's longer than that. But when you have a plan of how you think everything is going to go, and then it doesn't go the way you want it to go, your faith starts to shake in what it is that your real purpose is in life. And I know a few 30-year-olds, also, if someone asked me, like, was I going to do this episode by myself? And I said, more than likely, because my thing is this. Everyone knows I have a podcast. A lot of people know that I have a podcast. And when I open up the question, especially on Instagram, who wants to do it, a lot of people don't respond in saying that, yes, they're going to do it, or, hey, hit me up, let me know. If I reach out and I say, yes, okay, this is the episode. If you want to be on it, I'm going to let you know. Time comes around, and then it's like, oh, I can't do it, I won't be here, or can we move it to this time, can we move it to that time, can we do this, can we do that? It interferes with the flow of what I'm doing, so I end up doing it myself. No harm, no foul, I'm not angry or nothing like that, but this is normally why I tend to do these episodes by myself. But then that's why I let you guys join in on the live to express your feelings on the topics that I have, because sometimes it doesn't always work. So that's just to answer that question, because someone asked me that. I forgot what I was saying. Oh, shaking your faith, yes. So my faith is normally shaken by where I'm at right now. And even though it's not terrible, because there are people who are in worse situations, there are people who are in harder situations. It's not how I saw it. It's not how I envisioned it. Very thankful. Have a lot to be thankful, and have a lot of gratitude in where I'm at and what I have. But I also know that there should be more. And then it also comes down to feeling like you're your worst critic, you're your worst enemy, because you'll tell yourself you have to do this, you'll tell yourself you have to do that, and then if anybody has imposter syndrome, you know that damn thing be like telling you, well, what about this? Okay, but maybe not that, or this may not work out that way, or why don't you think about this instead? There's always something that tries to throw you off, and having to fight that off and having to fight that out of your mind is really like a battle. And for people who don't know what that is or don't understand it, as far as like knowing the definition, but seeing that, oh, that's just a mindset, and that's just this, that it's easy for someone like you to say that, because you can just shake shit off. But I think it humbles a lot of people when you realize that not everybody is that can shake shit off as easy as you can. And that's your superpower. That's something that you have that a lot of people wish that they can keep up, and they can always have in every situation they go through. But not everyone has that. Just like how not everyone's 30s look the way they thought it would. I constantly have had these moments of like, damn, where in this path did I take where in this route did I take the wrong exit? And now I'm taking a detour to get back onto the right, to get back onto that path that I'm supposed to be on. because this isn't how I saw it. This isn't how I pictured it. And yeah, times are tough. Like, life is kicking everyone's ass, I think, at this point. I mean, then again, I don't know, because people like to put up a front on Instagram, like to put up a front on TikTok to make it seem like everything is dandy and great. And then you have people like myself and then a few others who are very real. Like, no, this shit is not all dandy and great and real. Like, it's not all what it's cracked up to be. Growing and changing and going through the changes, going through the growth spurts, I guess, because, you know, when you were a kid, or if you were tall, if you're tall, you know what I'm talking about, the growth spurts. Sorry to everybody who's short, but those growth spurts are painful, and having to go through it in a sense alone, because, you know, everybody's going through their own growth and their own changes. Going through it alone is like, it can be difficult. So I woke up on my birthday and I went into the bathroom. That's normally where I pray, is like in the bathroom. Sometimes in, you know, my little living room area, but in the bathroom. And I like cried for like 5 minutes because I just didn't understand. What was I missing? What piece of the puzzle did I miss? Like, where did I go wrong? And as encouraging as, like, I am to mostly, like, I'm encouraging to, like, all my friends, or even just people, random people that say something to me, you also have to understand that, like, you can't, life is what it is when you get a reality check. And sometimes you can't always just be that tough and that, like, oh, you know, it's okay, just, you know, pick your head up and no. Sometimes you have to sit in it and just be like, okay, where do I go from here? And I think the other part is that because time is ticking. Time is ticking. And it's not waiting for anybody. And I don't think a lot of men deal with it. Some men probably do, but I don't think a lot of men really care. As long as they are financially set and they're getting their finances together, they're fine. They have that one thing that they're looking, that they can be good with. Because now we're talking on starting a family, you know, timeline. Men can have kids whenever they want. Didn't Robert De Niro just have, like, his, I think, 4th child now, and he's like 70 something? I mean, granted, you don't want to be a father at 70. Well, I wouldn't think you want to be a father at 70 something, but, or at least starting over. But as a woman, it's like, your clock is ticking. And yeah, we've seen like Rihanna, and we've seen Ciara, and we've seen all these other women, not even just celebrities, but other women who have said like, I've had kids in my 30s, my late 30s, and my early 40s. You still have time. But it's always that as you get older, you become more high risk. Things don't become as, I want to say easy, but there's so many different medical issues that could possibly happen as you get older. And then just not even that, but just wanting to start that chapter in your life, but then wanting to make sure it's the right, you're doing it your way, you're doing it the right way. And whatever right way that is for you. I always said I wanted to be married first. That was just me. I wanted to be married first. But then also just finding the right person to have a child with. At 25, I'm glad I did not have no child by that man. Absolutely not. Today, he seems like a very, more mature, obviously, as time has gone on, but he seems more mature, and he seems very, not well established, but he's into his career now, so now he'll probably, be great at what he's, being a father. But at 25, me and him having a child, absolutely not. That would not have worked. But then now, as I get older, it's just like, when is it gonna happen? And again, not just on having a child and getting married, but just with everything else. When is it gonna happen? When is this career turn point gonna happen? When is this financial breakthrough gonna happen? When are you gonna see things change for you the way that you've been praying about it and been disciplined in your actions? And yeah, okay, sometimes you fall off. We all do. We're all human. And then you put yourself back on track. Like, okay, now let me get back to it. And I know, I've preached about myself. I say it all the time on this thing, like God's timing. When God says it's right, it will happen. But sometimes it's hard to like even believe that when you see everyone else getting it before you. And it's like, okay, what did they do right that I didn't do? Or did they find a cheat code that I should have done? It's like I was definitely saying this past year, in 33, my Jesus year, that's why I called it my Jesus year. I did gain a closer relationship with God, but I also noticed that with gaining that closer relationship, you tend to it's like a fight almost, or like a battle between your spiritual belief and then reality. And then putting them two together to understand that obviously one is higher than the other. Spiritual belief is higher than reality, but reality is what you're living. So it's hard to put spirituality above it because that's what you're seeing. And just holding on and relying on the fact that the way that you're going, however old you are, and mainly talking to all my girls in our 30s, that at some point it will happen. But when, we don't know. And try not to let it physically make you sick. Where you want to sleep all the time, where your face is breaking out, where your attitude is off. And I know it's definitely easier said than done, because it definitely is. But it's like you had this thought process and now it's completely different from what it actually was supposed to be. But I guess that's what life is, right? Life has a way of throwing you curveballs and making something seem like it's supposed to go this easy and it doesn't. And I think a lot of our parents probably did that too. Even if it wasn't our parents, it's just people in the older generation made us feel like, you do this, and that happens. And while that may have happened for them, that may have been their reality. For us, it's not our reality. It seems like everything is going backwards. As far as like history, like, the way this country is going and how the pricing of everything and how divided really we are, because you have people saying Trump is doing amazing, you have people saying Trump is an asshole, he's not doing shit. You have people who are living their best life, showing it off, doing the whole thing, and then you have people over here struggling, not knowing when, having to wait 2 weeks for another check, trying to find a second job, can't find a second job, finding it difficult to find a second job, or a job period. People who have been out of work, who have been laid off, who have been fired, that can't get a job, that have the credentials to do things, but can't get anything. It's tough. It is tough. It is tough. But I just, I said my prayer to God for my 34th year, and still doing my part. Still making sure I show up and do my part, because God's just not going to hand it to you just because you prayed to him and asked him for it. You have to do your part as well. But just also trying to stay focused and level-headed, knowing that it will all happen when it's supposed to. When that will happen, who knows? I think I was listening to a sermon that, I forgot the pastor. He was saying that when breakthrough is coming because all hell is breaking loose. Everything is turning to shit. He didn't say it like that, but everything is turning, and you're trying to figure out why is the ship turning this way? Why is it turning to the left? We're supposed to be going straight. Why are we going to the left? Because something great is about to happen. And it's hard for us, especially again for us in our 30s, to see it when we're not where we thought we would be. When we said, okay, by this time we should have this, we should have a house, we should have a car, we should have a new career, we should be promoted, we should be making this amount of money. It's difficult. But I also feel like this is also the best time for us to stay within and stick within our scriptures. If you don't read the Bible, you should. I will always say that. And even if it's on your phone, if you don't have a physical one, just get the one on your phone. And then having a good community of people that you could talk to, that you can confide into. And letting everyone know that if you're not okay, it's okay for you to not be okay. And then also letting go of what you didn't do. And I feel like that's my biggest thing. Letting go of what I should have done. Like, damn, if I would have just did this, life would be different. If I would have just did, I know we all have regrets. Every single one of us have regrets about something that we wish we would have done. But, if I hadn't done this, my life would have been better. if I would have spoke up when this happened, then maybe this would have happened. If I had chose this career rather than that career. I have said that to myself and to my friends a million times. Like, I should have just, why didn't I? I should have just done that. But I had a plan in my head of how it was supposed to go. And it didn't go nowhere, like, nowhere. The life that I'm living right now is not the life that I planned. Is it a terrible one? No. But it's not where I thought I would see myself. So now what do? I guess we just continue to pray, continue to learn, alter our perspectives. We think of what the next step will be. And maybe not necessarily getting a new job. If you like your job, cool. But finding something else that you have a passion for and doing that. Whether that's writing. I mean, you can read too. Nothing wrong with reading. But writing. You could write your own book. You could write scripts. You could write poems. Whatever. If it's painting. If it's, I don't know, building Legos and selling it. If it's streaming, if it's playing video games and you can stream, if it's doing hair, if it's doing nails, if it's being a masseuse. Finding something else that you like to do on top of your 9 to 5. And finding out what that purpose is. Finding out what other part of you makes up you outside of you clocking in. And then, if you're single, taking in and understanding that you're learning more about you and what it is you want and what it is you don't want. Having those boundaries, which is great, but also giving yourself the chance to get to know people. I know some people are very much so against the dating app, but I'm gonna just tell y'all right now, if you go outside and go to clubs or go to lounges or go to the gym or go to Home Depot, when you go to all these other places and you still have not connected with not a single person, there's nothing wrong with you getting to know anybody. The man's gonna find you, yes. He who finds a wife finds a good thing, yes. He's gonna find you. But you also have to be out there. He's not gonna find you in your house with your pajamas on, rubbing your feet together. No. You have to put yourself out there for you to be found. How is he gonna know that you're his person if you're just hiding? So I was saying this to my friend, just try the dating app thing. You don't have to slide into anyone's DMs. You don't have to have conversation, talk. And then if it goes further from there, then it goes further from there. If not, then okay, that was nice knowing you. Goodbye. But knowing that the man will find you. The right guy will find you at the right time. And you just have to be willing to be open to receiving it and to having someone come to you and to talk to you. Because you can't say you want someone and then be so damn closed off and, no, don't talk to me. No, I'm okay. No, you're too close. Well, so then you don't want anybody to talk to you. Just have discernment and knowing who is for you and who's not. If they're not giving you what it is you're looking for, then just go on your business, go on your way. But this episode was like, I knew it was going to be a vulnerable one. I knew I was going to have my moment of tears because it's like reflecting moment. I always reflect around my birthday now. I mean, like ever since I turned 30, it was just a very big reflecting time to see what is it that I did this year. Did I waste too much time on what thing? Did I give too much energy to something that did nothing for me? And hopefully next year we'll be in a different space next year. So, to answer my question from earlier, are we on time or are we off track? I don't know. I have no clue. And maybe we're trying to find that answer in humans when we really need to be asking God. Because He's the only one that's really going to tell us if we are or if we're not. So, I thank you guys for listening. Hope you guys have a great week. Hope you guys enjoy your 4th of July weekend. I think I might go out. I might people this weekend. And yeah, make sure you guys leave whatever happened into today. Don't bring that shit into tomorrow. Love you guys for listening. Later.